The war on drugs in the 1980s?
CIA.
Oh,
Was the CIA complicit in bringing over cheap cocaine?
he connected with this guy called Barry Seal. Do you know about this?
Barry Seal sounds familiar.
Barry Seal supposedly worked for CIA, but what I'm saying is he was protected by either state government or federal government or both to fly in the cocaine to Arkansas, for dispersion.
The war on drugs in the 1980s.
The war on drugs in the 1980s?
CIA.
Oh, shit.
Was the CIA complicit in bringing over cheap cocaine to pay the Nicaraguans to fight communism? Is that verified? Because I've heard they've admitted it, but I haven't been able to find anything recent. And then the whistleblower who self-deleted himself by shooting himself twice in the face. And then to turn around and punish and have this crazy war on drugs and this 100-to-1 coke to crack disparity, which was supported by liberals and Republicans and Democrats. So this isn't a partisan thing, but that ended up causing a lot of harm to a lot of communities. So I was curious, as a guy that is very connected and aware, did the CIA do that? There's been movies, documentaries to fight those wars at the expense of poor communities.
I mean, that is not my expertise. And I think a lot of people think that I was a lot deeper within the agency than I actually was. But I mean, so I don't know. I would say there's a high probability that is probably true. Something that kind of skirts the line on that. I had this interview with this guy, Roger Reeves. He was the most prolific drug smuggler out of Colombia. Just lots of trips back and forth. He connected with this guy called Barry Seal. Do you know about this?
Barry Seal sounds familiar.
Barry Seal supposedly worked for CIA.
He was the plug. He was the connect, right?
If I remember this correctly, well, Roger was flying cocaine out of Colombia, a lot of cocaine out of Colombia. Went to jail for a long time. He came in for an interview. He had met this pilot named Barry Seal, and some of this may be off, so you have to re-reference my interview with him in case I'm off on some things. But Roger would fly the cocaine into Louisiana, right? And he would land on highways that are under construction. Well, when Barry went to work with him, he told him that that's the plan. We land on the highways in Louisiana. Well, Barry said, no, I don't fly into Louisiana. I fly into Arkansas. Bill Clinton was the governor at the time. So maybe there's some ties there. But what I'm saying is he was protected by either state government or federal government or both to fly in the cocaine to Arkansas, for dispersion. And so, I think there's something maybe there to explore, but I was born in 1982, so so that's a little, before my time there. And, the other thing about the agency is, you don't get access to everything. Everything is very compartmentalized, segmented. They call it a need-to-know basis. And if you don't need to know, then you don't get the information. So that's not something that I've been read into, not something that I've spent a lot of time exploring. But sorry, I don't have
No, it's all right. I've always thought about it. My wife's parents were both caught up in the war on drugs. My mother-in-law, she was working at a company, sliced her finger, like the tip of her finger got cut off, and she ended up getting a settlement. And man, they partied hard. They partied a little too hard, and they both ended up going to prison. And then because of the drug laws back then and the war on drugs, they got some pretty harsh sentences. And then, then the cycle starts of like, now my sister-in-law is trying to raise the girls at 12. She's robbing and stealing. She gets arrested. She then gets pregnant at 15. And so the cycle just continues of despair and fatherlessness, Generational trauma. Yeah. Yeah. My wife, by the grace of God, she ended up going to live with her best friend when she was in high school. And that's how we met. We met in high school. And the best friend, white evangelical Christian family, mother and father in the home. They weren't perfect, but they were great. And that kind of like removed her from a lot of like being in these pretty rough environments. And we met after that. We got married. And when we got married, we knew it's like, hey, we are not going to repeat these cycles. We're not going to continue the fatherlessness. Like we're gonna figure this thing out.
You guys broke it together.
Yeah. So we've been married 17 years now, together 21.
Congratulations.
I think she's the one. Yeah, she's great. My wife is great, man. Yeah, we got 2 kids. Levi is 10. Zoe's 4, and we got one on the way in November. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Another boy.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah. How many kids you got?
2.
2. How old are they?
2 and 4.
2 and 4. Oh man. I got a 4-year-old. It's such a fun age. Boy or girl?
Boy, girl.
Boy, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kids are the best, man.
They are. They definitely change your perspective on the world.
Yeah.
And how you carry yourself.
A lot, like the men I'm speaking to are coming from, similar backgrounds, struggling. And a lot of what I'm trying to get them to understand is like, dude, like you're going to get married one day and like your wife is going to want to stay home and just be a mom and be with her babies. And the data supports that too. Forbes did a study about a decade ago, 86% of working women prefer to stay home if they were given the opportunity. And then this is not Christian.
86%.
Yes, this is a little dated. It's probably around 75 now. Want to stay home for a season when they have kids. This is working women with kids. They prefer to stay home if they were given an opportunity to. And some women grow resentment if they aren't. And that conversation is very unpopular, And so my advice to young men is like, bro, there's a future version of you that's like depending on this version of you to make good decisions. And if you don't make good decisions, like you're going to pay for it later.
I love that. There's a future version of you.
Yeah.
Depending on what you do.
No one told me this stuff. Like when I was 20, new to the faith, like no one sat me down and was like, hey man, like you got to go make some money, bro. Like you can't, and you got to stop getting into debt. Like you got to clean this stuff up because at 28, 29, like your wife's going to want to have kids and she's going to want to stay home. She's not going to want to be a boss babe in 12 weeks. Again, like after pushing out a human. No one told me these things. And again, by the grace of God and really through Dave Ramsey's stuff, like we were able to clean up our finances and got out of debt. And it was so life-giving, to have that stability and then transition into music full time and in YouTube. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal that.
Yeah. It's a good line, right?
I love that.
You could sauce it up. You could talk about sci-fi movies. Sometimes I'll talk about like my favorite movies or sci-fi movies, time travel movies, and the timeline continuum, and so you can really sauce it up. But yeah, I think it's so real because when you don't have the motivation, you have all the time in the world. When you have the motivation, kids, a wife, people depending on you to provide, you don't have a lot of time. And so if I can say, hey man, while you have the time, let's make you an asset to your current employer. Let's not go in and try to get the most amount of money for the least amount of work. No. You're going to show up and you're going to be the best dude. You're going to be the first to come, last to leave, most competent, working your face off. And in that, you're going to be a greater asset to your current employer. And I'm sure you appreciate that. You have an amazing team here of just studs that are crushing it. Those people end up being amazing in an organization, but they could also go on and do their own thing if they want to because they're competent, they're stable, they're confident. And people don't understand that. Like they don't understand that, like, man, you got a window of time from 20 to 25 before you're married with kids. Like figure this out.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.